we told you to register, why are you not registering? This makes no sense. And then AIPAC got lucky because he got shot and killed. A country should not be able to lobby to get what they want and control our congressmen.
It doesn't matter whether Donald Trump is elected or Kamala Harris is elected. Whoever is president will support Israel unconditionally because of the power of the lobby.
Israel could never do these wars on its own. These are American wars. Israel couldn't fight for one day without the United States backing. Israel could not be committing a genocide in Gaza without the United States.
Everyone else has to register under the FARA Act, and that changes things significantly. AIPAC is the only that's allowed to spend $100 million in our elections and not be called names. Like, could you imagine if Russia spent $100 million in our elections?
What AIPAC and the lobby want from the United States, no matter who is the president, is unconditional support for Israel. They want the United States to back Israel no matter what Israel does.
The United States, once a self-proclaimed champion of liberty, democracy, and human rights, now stands as a shadow of its former ideals, bowing in silent obedience to the geopolitical agenda of Israel, a foreign power whose influence over American politics is as glaring as it is disturbing. This isn't just a matter of mutual interest or strategic alliance. It has become, in the eyes of many, a complete surrender of American sovereignty to an apartheid regime that leverages U.S. power to commit unchecked atrocities under the shield of impunity. At the heart of this power imbalance lies AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, one of the most powerful and well-funded lobbying groups in the country, whose reach extends into nearly every corridor of Washington. Politicians are groomed, funded, and rewarded for their blind loyalty to Israel's policies, while dissenters are systematically blacklisted, smeared, or politically assassinated. American lawmakers no longer legislate with the interests of their own constituents in mind. Instead, they craft foreign policy that ensures Israel continues to receive over $3.8 billion in annual military aid, regardless of how that money is used. This has created an alarming paradox, where American taxpayers fund the destruction of Palestinian homes, the bombing of hospitals, the slaughter of civilians, and the maintenance of an apartheid wall, all while struggling themselves with crumbling infrastructure, healthcare debt, and systemic poverty. American citizens are, in effect, third-class participants in their own democracy, relegated behind a foreign power that enjoys unwavering support and protection regardless of its actions. Criticism of Israel, no matter how factual, justified, or humanitarian, is swiftly branded as anti-Semitism, a rhetorical weapon that has been grossly manipulated to silence legitimate concern and shield war crimes from accountability. It is not anti-Semitic to question how a supposed ally continuously violates international law. It is not anti-Semitic to demand that children in Gaza deserve to live free from drone strikes, or that journalists not be targeted with sniper fire. Yet these questions are met with smears, bans, and censorship. Mainstream media, largely influenced by pro-Israel ownership and editorial pressure, parrots a one-sided narrative that frames every Israeli action as defensive, and every Palestinian as a threat. Words like clash replace massacre, and airstrike replaces bombing of civilian homes. The American public is rarely told the full story. They are shown carefully curated footage, distracted by false equivalencies, and numbed into complicity. Social media platforms, too, have become tools of suppression. Pro-Palestinian accounts are shadow banned, videos exposing war crimes are removed, and hashtags calling for justice are algorithmically buried. Tech companies work hand-in-hand with Israeli cybersecurity firms and pressure groups, ensuring the digital battlefield is just as uneven as the one on the ground. Politicians who dare speak up, such as Ilhan Omar or Rashida Tlaib, face a storm of backlash not for falsehoods, but for breaking the silence. They are labeled extremists for doing what every morally upright leader should do, stand against apartheid and oppression. Meanwhile, Israeli politicians and military generals openly declare intentions to expand illegal settlements, to flatten Gaza, to maintain a Jewish demographic majority at all costs, statements that would be globally condemned if uttered by any other government. The international double standard is staggering. Israel violates UN resolutions, defies the International Criminal Court, ignores the Geneva Conventions, yet remains above the law because the United States protects it. American veto power at the UN has been used more to shield Israel than for any other purpose, revealing where true loyalties lie. The consequences are not limited to foreign victims. American democracy has suffered. Universities are pressured to silence student activism. Journalists are doxxed and deplatformed. Whistleblowers like Edward Snowden and Chelsea Manning are punished for revealing truths that challenge the military-industrial complex, which Israel is deeply embedded in. Foreign policy decisions are made not on the basis of human rights, but on how they affect our ally in the Middle East. Wars are fought, regimes are toppled, and instability spreads, all to ensure Israeli dominance and control remain unchallenged. Americans die in foreign wars, suffer economic instability, and endure domestic inequality, all while being told that this arrangement is for their own good. But more and more are waking up. They see the photos of bombed-out schools. They hear the cries of mothers in Rafah. They recognize that security cannot come at the expense of justice. Israel is not a beacon of democracy. It is a state built on displacement, maintained through segregation, and defended with propaganda. Its right to exist does not include the right to erase another people, to demolish their history, or to criminalize their resistance. Yet, every time Israel commits a crime, the United States is there, not just as an observer, but as an accomplice. The weapons are American. The funding is American. The silence is American. And that silence is not neutrality. It is complicity. It is time for America to reclaim its dignity and its voice. It must disentangle itself from the stranglehold of Israeli influence and stand for the values it claims to uphold. Real democracy, real justice, real accountability. Until that happens, the U.S. will remain not a superpower, but a subservient state. An empire eroding from within, not because of foreign enemies, but because of the betrayal of its own conscience.